Hello, this is Stephen Bewley here. Today I will be going through some basics of AutoCAD printing in this short clip. To begin with, the differences between model space and the layout space in AutoCAD is that you draw in the model space, usually at 1:1 scale, and you print from the layout space, where you can change the scale or even have a couple of different scales from various viewports. But first, let me explain the viewports. When you first go into the layout sheet or paper space, you'll you will automatically get a viewport that appears, and this will be to the extent of the work that you've already carried out in the model space. I would delete this and create your own, but first it's good practice to set up the layout sheet through the printing setup, which can be, or you can use Control P as a shortcut. Continue to plot a single sheet. That's because I've got multiple files open, so you just want to plot one sheet. Right. The first thing you do is to select your printer plotter. You'd either be plotting to your printer in the studio, or more often than not, it's printing to PDF. So I will go to AutoCAD PDF here. You probably will have a different PDF writer. Here you can see that we are on an A4 sheet. We need to change that to an A3 one. So I'd go to full bleed as well, which takes away all the margins. Here, select layout. I would only select window if you were in your model space and you wanted to quickly plot something just to see if it looked right on a sheet. But if you're in a layout, just use layout. Here, I would go to grayscale, or you can create a new one by going to start from scratch. Next, create a file name, let's say mine, and then plot style table editor, change that, and then you can change the color of each one of these colors and also the line weight of each one of these. But at the moment, I think it would be easier if we just went to grayscale. Make sure landscape is on, and make sure the plot scale is set to 1:1 and there's no fit to paper or anything like that in there. So apply to layout, usually preview, but we haven't got anything set up on the sheet, so it would just be a blank sheet. And don't press OK because it would just try to print it. So just press cancel now. You can see that the margins have changed now, so it's right up to the edge of the sheet, and the sheet now is an A3. Now the next step is a preference, but it is good practice to set up a layer from a viewport. Sorry, I meant to say for a viewport line. So if you just go into layer properties and right click, select new layer, and just call it view. Sorry. And here you can select it so it doesn't print, and also you can select it so it's locked, so people can't move it once you've created it. Now, I'm not going to lock it yet, but I probably will do in the future. Just select a grey colour as well for that. Okay. Oh, make sure also that you are actually drawing in that layer, so make sure you select the viewport there before you select the viewport. Now, go to Layout and Rectangle under Layout Viewports. If you in the classic view, you can go to View and select a viewport from there, but most of you will be using the ribbon, so select rectangle, and now you can select either the bottom corner by eye or by coordinates, and by coordinates you just have to type 0, 0, 0, and then it extends it from there. Or I like to just select it to fit. So select it, and these options come up along the bottom. Now press F, return, and it fits it directly into the sheet for you. So right up until the margins. Now go back to your plot options using this little. Remember, it's Control P if it's shortcuts. Now preview, and as you can see, there's no line where the viewport is, so that's not plotting out as we wanted it to. If that's okay, just right click and press plot. Now, and then press save. So then that's plotted out. However, now that this is plotted out, I've realised that it's not to scale. So let's just go back. Double click inside the viewport. Now, along the bottom here is your little scale bar here. So click on that. You see this is to imperial measurements as well. So an easy way around this is to go to custom and press reset. It's the option to put it back to metric scales. So make sure it's on that and press OK. Now all the metric scales will come up on here. Now select 1 to 50, double click outside, Control P or go up to the print, continue plot single sheet, and then just plot. So that's now to 1 to 50 scale. I'm going to show you another way to do this. So just delete this and go back up to the rectangle. And now on the options across the bottom, I'm going to put in multiple viewports. Now I think 4 for this one. And then you can just pull them out one at a time. Or, as I'm going to do now, you can just press F and it gives you 4 equal viewports. Now, you'll probably want a plan one, an elevation one, and maybe a different elevation one. So there we go. And remembering that these are zoom extents now, so we need to check the scale. The scale's not correct. So let's just go to 1 to 100 for that one, and then we can make sure that all the scales are correct then. There we go. So everything's to the correct scale. Now, let's go to the print and preview this time just to make sure that everything's correct. This time, maybe you want some lines in between, so to frame out these drawings. So if I go back, so cancel, and so go to the Home tab, and then Layer Properties, and then within here, just deselect that so the frame of the viewport will print. And I would lock them as well, just in case you accidentally move one of them. So now I can't move anything, it's got a little padlock on there. Now go up to the print, preview, and there you go. It's framed and you've got all of these individual ones ready to print. So right click, plot, just name that free. And as you can see, it's a better quality print than it is in the display. So I hope that's okay. I hope hope you have enjoyed this quick AutoCAD printing lesson.